hyper niche content just generally has a low likelihood of going viral. A lot of people are seeing low views, low reach. They're wondering what's working now. We're gonna be talking about little known secrets top creators use to trigger the algorithm and go viral. One of my favorite stories is Mary. She just hit 1 million subscribers. Mary started YouTube when she was 60 years old, and she just turned 65 and got that gold play button. In fact, if you want big reach, implement these strategies. I have 8 of them for you. Let's hit number 1. You gotta just press record. We're gonna be talking about little known secrets top creators use to trigger the algorithm and go viral. And if you're a marketer, business owner, and entrepreneur, there's gonna be nuggets, an influencer, creator. If right now you're working for a business, an agency, but even thinking about making some of your own content on the side, I really believe that our time together will be valuable. And so the power of YouTube is significant. And I really believe that with some of the tips we're gonna learn today, that you can apply this to what you're doing. And we're gonna be talking about really what are the secrets and strategies of the top 1% of YouTube channels. And kind of a disclaimer is, I'm gonna deliver on this exact promise. There's a lot of different reasons you should approach YouTube, and you wanna define, this is worth writing down, what does winning look like for your business? Because oftentimes we chase views when maybe that isn't the most important metric. Could be leads, it could be sales, it could be community, it could be impact, it could be the right type of people as opposed to just anybody. But saying that, we are gonna be talking about virality today. And so if you want more views, implement these strategies. I have 8 of them for you. Let's hit number 1, the mass appeal method. The mass appeal method. Here's the problem. Hyper niched content has a low likelihood of going viral. In fact, there's a lot of problems we're facing right now. Views are kind of down across the platform for most people. YouTube Shorts have disrupted the platform. There's a lot of love and hate relationship with them, but regardless, they've kind of divided attention. A lot of people are seeing low views, low reach. They're wondering what's worked, but also what's working now. But also hyper niche content just generally has a low likelihood of going viral. And it's not that you shouldn't make hyper niche content, but it's simply that if you want big reach, then you got to use the mass appeal method. Some of you may have heard of Noah Kagan, just launched a cool new book called $1 Million Weekend. You maybe have heard of the website AppSumo. I believe he's the founder of that website. He was like employee number 23 of Facebook or something like that. And he started YouTube like a lot of people start YouTube. Here's a video that's 6 years old, how to hire right the first time. And it's kind of like a search-based, like practical how-to video. Cool, great. But if you look at it too, it got 10,000 views. Now that's, a lot of us would be like, I'd love to have 10,000 views. But like in all, that was also over 6 years. It's just a hyper niched, specific pain point. It is not mass appeal. Well, if you focus on seeing what some of the stuff he's doing now, here's a video that he did, Meet the Billionaire That Works a Normal Job. 5.6 million views. But think about this. It's a mass appeal topic. Now, he's not off brand here. He's teaching entrepreneurship. He's teaching business. He's teaching that kind of stuff. But compared to just like how to hire somebody versus a story and then a powerful thumbnail, I made 600 million a year doing this. Much more broad appeal. Let's look at his top 4 most viewed videos. Asking an 80-year-old millionaire, was it worth it? Asking millionaires how to make $1 million, asking a billionaire how to make $1 million, and the billionaire that works a normal job. We're talking between 4 and 5.5 million views. Now here's the thing though, this is 1,000x more views than that hyper niched video. So if you want to start getting more views on YouTube, there's something you got to think about. Broad appeal, mass appeal. Now your objection might be, so do I just follow some trend? Do I just make content that's unrelated? That's not what I'm saying. But you ask yourself, how can I package this video, or what topics could I hit that would be on brand for me, but that could also be more mass appeal? I think there's another insight here that we're seeing this kind of man on the street interview style or tapping into other people's stories or interviews is a big opportunity. I don't recognize that person at all. In fact, his name's not on there. I don't know who it is, the billionaire. But getting that guest on, instead of giving a name that nobody would necessarily know that individual name, you're actually giving a category, billionaire. Okay, now I'm listening. It's a little more interesting. This is Layla Hermosi. There's a video that she's getting great views and has a strong YouTube channel, and the title is How World-Class Leaders Hold Employees Accountable. Sounds amazing. A lot of us should watch that video, but it's hyper niched. It's a very small group of people that want to learn how to hold employees accountable. And if we click over to her most viewed video, it's using the mass appeal method, how I brainwash myself to success. Now again, she's teaching business, entrepreneurship, very specific, but as far as getting broader views, she has a much broader video. On screen, there's some pretty tactical things we can learn as well. Transformation is one of the most powerful things you can do in a thumbnail, from this to that. So she took an older photo of herself to the new photo of herself. There's the tension between where you were and where you are now. In fitness, this is incredibly powerful. You see the tension in makeup before and after. It could be in cars or repairing something before and after. Very powerful. And so 56 times more views when she used the mass appeal method. So here's your goal. Your goal is to find the sweet spot between staying true to your niche and offering valuable content that resonates with the broader audience. And when it comes to social media marketing, I think that some of us are going to do a lot better this year when we tap into broad appeal and start experimenting with topics. Just ask yourself, would this apply to more people? And it really rubs against us when I got to stay niched. I got to stay in my niche. There's an argument for that, but the mass appeal method is where the views are. And so use it wisely. Now, if you study Roger Wakefield's channel as a service provider, as someone teaching plumbing, and who's had incredible videos that are how-to and search-based, and they've done well, they've done great. But those are more hyper-niched. In fact, looking at a couple of his recent videos, toilet wax versus rubber, which works better, how to service a water heater, plumbing 101. And again, let me make the point. I think that these videos should be a part of your content mix. But if all we're solving for is virality or getting a lot more views, then we need more mass appeal. So what happens when we study some of Roger's most viewed videos? Well, we see Real Plumber reacts to the biggest plumbing scammers, 2.3 million views. Real Plumber tries awful plumbing hacks, finds the awful hacks on social media, tries them himself. 840 times more views when using the mass appeal method. Still on brand, still the expert plumber, but it's tapping into broad appeal, tapping into things being more entertaining, tapping into things being shareable. In fact, one of our students did this, who is a chiropractor. So what he did, and here's kind of the formula for you, can you find a viral clip, a viral video, something on TikTok, some platform, and can you react to it? So Tom here is a chiropractor, and he reacted to this Y-stap treatment. Have you ever seen these? There's been some of these videos trending. They like break the person's back, crack their neck, pull it with a tractor. Like, you're like, dude, why is this chiropractor using a tractor? Like, this is ridiculous. So this Y-strap treatment was a video that he reacted to as a chiropractor. And for him, he got 590 views. So I want to encourage you, as we're using these methods, you should write this down, VFM. VFM, it stands for this, viral for me. There's too much comparison that happens in social media, and we look at some of the biggest channels and we compare our numbers. VFM is what you're after. So if you're normally getting 50 views on like some practical content in your niche, then 500 or 5,000 would be really interesting to you. And you're not sacrificing reaching the right people. Maybe a few of them will sneak in there when it gets a little more entertaining. But the goal here is to use the mass appeal method to get more views, more top of funnel reach, if you will. And this strategy is incredibly powerful for that. Number two is the reaction strategy. We already hit it, but now we're going a little bit deeper. So this is exactly what Roger started to do here. Real Plumber reacts to biggest plumbing scammers. You should steal that title. Insert your niche, and insert too, people who don't know Roger yet, don't know Roger yet. So you're also, even in the titling, you're titling and positioning things that a total stranger would be interested in clicking on. Good thumbnail, good positioning, 2.3 million views, and even more powerful than that, having vidIQ installed, I could see that this video gets 11 VPH. It's worth writing down. VPH stands for views per hour. A 3-year-old video that still gets 11 views every hour gets me super excited. It's one of the reasons why I love YouTube the most, because it's the only platform where your content lives forever. And if done right, it's the only platform that can keep getting views on 3-year-old videos. And so this is powerful, but what is he doing? He's reacting. One of my favorite things is tapping in and using OPC. Now, not OPP, naughty by nature. Some of you will get that. OPC is other people's content. And based on fair use law, you're allowed to use other people's content if you're transforming, if you're being a comedian around it, news around it, reaction to it. So how do I use other people's content? You just use it. Because if you use it, but you transform and you're on there, it's the React format. So you're getting 2.3 million views by sitting there and reacting to a bunch of crazy stuff that you downloaded from this YouTube channel, from that TikTok. All of y'all can do this. Super powerful. And so in the video, you can see him there. He's looking, he's reacting to a news clip and reacting to some different things. And that's simply using the reaction strategy. This isn't a new strategy. It's one of the biggest formats on YouTube. The React channel, Mr. Beast has a React channel, kids react. And so what would happen if you started thinking about, what can I react to that's related to my business, my agency, and I can make reaction videos that could start reaching a whole new level of people and getting more views. This channel, Kaz Zamet, this channel has 20,000 subscribers, but the views on this video he got was 150,000 views. You know you're doing well when your views exceed your subscriber number. And he's using reaction though. It's filmmaker reacts to Halo Reach, all the cutscenes. Wait, I didn't even know I could use Halo. Yeah, OPC, other people's content through fair use. And so now you're tapping into all kind of things. People that are interested in Halo, people that don't know you, but they know the intellectual property of Halo. And so him reacting to that has his views punching way above his weight class from subscribers. And so think about this. Imagine, agency owner reacts to bad car dealership Facebook ads in 2020. Common mistakes to avoid. So you could pull this all the way down. And that's why viral for me matters. Viral for me is like, well, I'm not going to necessarily just jump onto some mega trend. Let me pull the React strategy into my business world or my world as a marketer. Here's one. Doctor reacts to, is obesity a choice debate? 1 million views. So he pulls a debate that's already a separate YouTube video, jumps in. You know it's already getting a little polarizing. It's interesting. What does the doctor say about it? You see the thumbnail there. So here's the question. What content could you react to? And what is related to your niche but would also appeal to a wider audience? Again, as we use these strategies, these are secrets of the top 1%, and this is secrets to going viral. You very well could be one video away from 100,000 views or maybe millions of views as you start using the mass appeal method and the React method. Number 3 is ethical clickbait. Ethical clickbait. So let's define this, because a lot of us, maybe we're guilty of it. Look at your neighbor and say, I know you've clickbaited before. I know you've done that for sure. I've seen you do it and it was wrong. And, but you got views. I know it worked. But so clickbait's kind of a weird term because we don't want to, here's really what clickbait is. Clickbait is misleading. It's deceptive. It hurts trust. So you might get short-term views, but it hurts trust. It overpromises. That's kind of what you think about clickbait is what it is. It's like, okay, like I clicked on the video, but it tricked me and it let me down. And it underdelivers. But ethical clickbait, we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you're a good marketer, you're good at baiting clicks. Like you are trying, what are you trying not to get people to click on your videos? Like I just don't want people to opt into my email list. I just, So the right way to do it, ethical clickbait is engaging, it's compelling, it's honest, it's accurate, and it over-delivers. So it's understanding these principles that we're going to discuss and using them in an ethical way. One of the biggest video podcasts right now is called The Diary of a CEO. And Stephen Bartlett is a British entrepreneur and podcaster. The YouTube channel is getting 25 million views every single month. Here's his social media director. So this is Grace Andrews. She's like his content manager. Here's some of the tactics the top 1% are doing. The Diary of a CEO tests 100 thumbnails for each episode to optimize click-through rate. 100. So what they actually do is they take 3 facial expressions, typically of the guest, And then they've got about 30 quotes, and they tried the different quotes on the different facial expressions to see which one has the highest click-through rate using paid ads. They also have a pre-research phase where they come up with different topics. So they use 3 different facial expressions across the thumbnails, and then they do a pre-research testing phase implemented to determine the topics that interest viewers most, and that influences the conversation that Steven eventually interviews the guest with. And you're like, cool, Sean, it sounds nice for them. I do my social media job by myself. I don't have a team. I'm definitely not split testing 100 thumbnails. I don't even know how to make a thumbnail. Okay, respect. Of course you do though, AI like Canva, but and so, but I think there's a lot of takeaways here. What are they doing? They are obsessed with what is going to get the highest click-through rate. How can we get people intrigued? How can we get them to click? And now here's some of their best, most viewed videos. They have powerful title. Now notice in the left side, the Harvard professor reveals the 7 biggest lies. And again, they didn't say his name, because dude, you probably don't know who that professor is, but Harvard has the authority. So interesting, these details. You don't need 8 hours of sleep. So what they split test would be the facial expression. They split test the quote that's in the thumbnail. Notice over here, they're lying about calories. Now, we're talking to a weight loss scientist, and this is ethical, but this is clickbait. They're lying? Wait a minute, you're lying? Who's lying? I'm being lied to? Like, this starts triggering. In fact, check this out. You've been lied to triggers curiosity and an emotional response. It triggers intrigue, anger and disbelief, and confirmation bias. Like, you've been lied to implies deceit. It implies potential injustice. You're angry. Wait, I've been lied to? Emotions of anger and disbelief. Confirmation bias is like, I knew they were lying to me about calories. I knew it. Sure enough, I got to click on this. Even just to affirm, confirmation bias would be to confirm a belief you already had. But this is ethical because this person, that's a real quote from the video, a real conviction of that weight loss scientist. And it was up to Diary of a CEO to package the video in such a way as to trigger the click and get massive views. Very powerful. This is what the top 1% are doing. This is the level they're playing at. I would argue this. If you would consider that modern marketers are ultimately psychologists and people who study human behavior. And if you're actively not studying psychology and human behavior, totally fine, you're welcome, but you're barely getting into the marketing game. Anybody who's really doing marketing at a high level, this is the stuff they think about all the time. They're thinking about psychology, human behavior, where are people coming from? Like, here's what else you've been lied to. And I'm not saying this is one of so many powerful positioning that this one video happens to tap into. It taps into more. It taps into the victim mentality. Viewers connect with the feeling of being deceived, putting themselves in the victim's role and seeking resolution. It taps into the justice seeker. The title positions the viewer as the potential hero that can start to expose the lie and bring justice, and this appeals to the desire to be informed and to make a difference. Sean, take a breath, bro. I had no idea this is how much is going into thumbnails. Like, I was trying to make a video, bro. Like, what is... Secrets of the top 1%, though. I mean, so when you start thinking about the level of architecting, title, thumbnail combo, what does the text in the thumbnail say? And this is all ethical clickbait. This is kind of cool. I spent $1,000 on Pinterest ads for my small business. Was it worth it? This is opening up a curiosity loop, and I'm applying this to a business context here to show you this. Like, there is a video called How to Do Pinterest Ads. Good. Great video. But how much more interesting is this? This is, I spent my own money, which is stakes. Good storytelling includes stakes. There's my money on the line, there's stakes on the line, and there's a big curiosity grab. Was it worth it? Was it not worth it? Did it work? Did it not work? And so here's a little bonus tip is challenge. A challenge strategy is something the top 1% do. Mr. Beast's channel is basically challenges. What would happen? How much is a $1 hotel? What is it like? Could we up it to the next level? Or he puts people through challenges. Can you last through spiders and then being underwater and this, Squid Games? It's all challenges. But you can bring that into a business context. What if you did a test or a case study and then filmed your case? Now it's storytelling of what you do as a marketer, as opposed to just, how to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which is awesome. Do those too, but these are the next level views that we can get, which brings us to number 4, stir emotions and spark interest. You might notice these are stacking, like almost if you mass appeal and you do ethical clickbait, in doing so, you're gonna stir emotions, which you wanna spark the audience's interest. One of the greats in advertising, which as marketers, a lot of the great marketers would study a David Ogilvy and the book Confessions of an Advertising Man and the other books, one of his core strategies was emotional appeal. He understood that people are more likely to be persuaded by emotions than logic. So that could be humor, sentiment, different emotional appeals. So let me ask you a question.
Are you ready to start your YouTube channel, but you don't know where to begin? Or have you been posting videos, but you're frustrated because you're just not getting the views and nobody is seeing them? For a limited time, you can get the #1 best-selling YouTube strategy book, YouTube Secrets, for free at ytsecrets.com. This book is the proven blueprint that has helped thousands of people go from 0 subscribers to a thriving channel. All I ask is that you pay shipping, and then I will mail you the brand new updated 2nd edition of YouTube Secrets. And when you place your order today, there's a couple other super cool things that'll hook you up with. First, you're gonna get instant access to a free deep dive masterclass where I will break down the exact strategy I'm currently using to generate over 120,000 views per day, every single day on YouTube, and generate over $100,000 per month on the platform, as well as the 3 biggest mistakes that most creators make when starting and trying to grow their channel. That class is free to watch instantly when you pick up this special offer. Now, you're also gonna get my video series called The Perfect Video Recipe. One of the updated chapters in the 2nd edition is titled The Perfect Video Recipe. It's actually a formula for how to structure YouTube videos to get maximum views and how to break through in the YouTube algorithm. This is the exact formula that readers of the book and our students are using to generate millions of views. And again, that'll just be included when you jump on this limited offer. Third, you're gonna get access to our 1,000 Subs Club email newsletter, which delivers actionable weekly tips to your email inbox that will help you get to 1,000 subscribers fast. And we also do really cool weekly giveaways that includes lighting and microphones and YouTube equipment, plus software that will help you on your creator journey. But here's the thing, supplies are limited on this free book promotion. So if you wanna grab this offer, go to ytsecrets.com right now and just place your order covering shipping, and I'll get this book in the mail to you right away.
In your content and in your social media marketing, are you just using logic, or are you also crafting content in such a way as to appeal to people's emotions? And so I shot an interview recently with Patrick Bet-David from Valuetainment. The amount of hate we got in the comments, they said, you guys rented a fake jet to film this interview. Now, it's kind of a weird story because I DM'd him on Instagram. It's kind of his vibe. He chartered a jet to fly in to speak at this event. I was like, he's in Vegas, maybe we could shoot an interview. It was like, hey, I only have a couple hours. The plane is running and I'm speaking at this event. I'm going back. Could we do it on the jet? And I was like, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard in my life. It seems, it's gonna make people uncomfortable, whatever. Oh, you rented the jet, whatever. But I was like, yeah, I guess we could do it. It's 4 p.m. on a Friday. And I think to myself, I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. But like, there's some people that work for us at Think Media, but they're off. They got plans, and I don't want to, mess with them. I asked them, but they're like, no, I got plans. I'm like, fair enough, okay. Work-life balance is great. So I hit up a couple of contractors. I'm like, hey, can you film with Patrick Bet-David on a jet in like 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours? That's how much clarity I have for you, and it might not happen. Would you be available? And I asked like Art and Brandon, these guys at Vegas, some freelance videographers I work, and they're like, dude, what are you talking about? Like what, the weirdest? So they commit. Art was like, I gotta go out with my girlfriend. Actually, she's not feeling well. So I ended up connecting with Art and Brandon. We ended up shooting this video, the weirdest night of my life. And then sure enough, even just for people to say, I can see the videographers and the reflection in the window. I'm like, I know, bro, anyways, the story doesn't really matter. What's the point? The final result though, what was this point? Stir emotions and spark interest. As we put out the final video, it's doing very well. In fact, by our standards, it would apply to this kind of top 1%. Now, of course, you've maybe never heard of Patrick Bet-David, but he's well known in certain circles. So he's a part of it. I think there's something to be said about hustling when necessary. You see an opportunity, shoot your shot. I just reached out in the DMs. He's like, yeah, in this weird situation, if you can get here and to the tarmac or whatever. So we got there, shot the thing. But then it came to packaging. And thinking about what the content was shot in the interview after the fact, the title ended up being Changes Are Coming for Content Creators. Now, this was not by accident, because I applied these principles of stir emotions and spark interest. One of the things that actually taps into human brains at a huge level is this idea of change, because our human brains are wired for novelty. You go back, and if we thought about keeping your family safe and your kids safe, and if you were like, you're living in a rural community, let's go 100 years ago, a couple hundred years ago, and you're worried about maybe bears or people attacking, a lot of times, if your environment just stays the same, it doesn't trigger anything. That's good. That's a good thing. No bear footprints, no danger on the horizon, no storm coming on the horizon. Everything looks good, whether you think about it consciously or not. And so when everything in your environment is staying the same, you don't pay attention to it. But if you then go outside and then you see on the horizon storm clouds, you then say, oh shoot, something's changing. Close the roof, pull down the tarp, get ready. You see bear tracks, now we've got issues. Like, okay, you see change in your environment, it actually causes your brain to turn on. As marketers, you gotta know this. This is why, even though toothpaste hasn't changed in 50 years, Colgate always says new and improved, which, by the way, is impossible. How can it actually be improved if it's new? It can't be. Yet it's on there and you believed it. You're like, it's new and improved. No, it's not even possible. That's the way our brains work, though. So actually, our brains scan. So as soon as even we see the word change, 9 out of 10 videos we're not going to click on. But, oh, a storm's coming? That's the video I got to click on. It's a guy named Tom Bilyeu, and he's got a podcast called Impact Theory. Check out these videos. They got 200,000 views, 1 million views, 3 million views, 182,000 views. Look at how often he puts change in the title. How to completely change your life in 2024. Mass appeal, by the way. And also, I don't know if that's ethical clickbait, Tom. I completely change my life, but whatever, we'll leave it to. If you want to completely change your life in 30 days, people don't know what's coming, prepare for the changing world order. Civilization is about to change forever. That's my favorite one. Oh my goodness, that's the big idea. Civilization is about to change forever. Okay. The truth about immortality, rich versus poor, AI, and ending disease. Some scientist. Anyways, but this is not by accident. He uses this idea of change in his title a lot. You start catching some of these power principles and apply these to your videos, you're gonna get more views. One of the reasons why this works is loss aversion. Loss aversion is something every marketer needs to know about. People are always more motivated by losing $10 rather than gaining $10. And change is why I click. What changed? Because I don't want my family to be taken away by a vicious bear. So I'm worried, I love my kids, happy to see my kids, a little bit more happiness with my kids, they're fine. We're just trying to get through the day. But if my kids are about to be snatched by a bear, I'm moving into bear mode. So it's loss aversion. And you can take that from a big to a small thing, and change is what triggers that. So again, we're talking into, I'm using a niche example. There's hundreds, but the idea is you want to spark emotion and you want to tap into these psychological triggers. Just change is coming taps into curiosity and fear of missing out, loss aversion and scarcity, anticipation and hope, social proof and the bandwagon effect, storytelling and narrative. I would screenshot that and study those 5 later, just for time's sake, we'll keep it moving. But one other thing to go a little bit deeper on that you could practically apply is before you create your next social media post, and by the way, we're talking about YouTube, but this applies cross-platform. Ask yourself, what emotion do I want this post to trigger? And what on screen right now, you see a study that reveals the top emotions that make content go viral. The top were awe, laughter, and amusement. Think about what is it that you share in the DMs? Who's your Instagram DM friend is my question. Who gets the weird reels and the sketchy reels from you?
Well, they're fun.
You know you're a real friend when you're like, yeah, I can trust him with that one. I said, see this one? It's pretty funny. And it's probably like, oh my goodness, this person was riding this bike down, like GoPro, Red Bull commercial. They jumped off the moon. It got shared. Awe, laughter, amusement. But if you look on screen, you want to be thoughtful about saying, what emotion is this post going to trigger? I know for me, in my career, I made so many mistakes and have been so frustrated often by not getting reach or not getting views or things not working. I didn't ask that question at all. I didn't even think. I actually lean more logical. And so being more thoughtful about which emotion to trigger. And this is worth looking at, and you can look this up later. It's called Robert Plutchik's Wheel of Emotions. So use this tool to plan and position your content. You can grab it on Google. But what they do is there's also going to be like a string of emotions that you'll tie together, like terror, fear, and apprehension, or amazement, surprise, and distraction. And you might have felt by this time too, you might feel like, man, this ethical clickbait thing, looking at some of those changes coming, all of civilization's going to change. You might be like, bro, that's not I'm not going to play at that level. Plus, I have no idea about that stuff. Obviously, sometimes it would seem clickbait goes more negative or more like you've been lied to. But you can also go positive in a business context, and it has a lot to do with what brand do you want to design. So I think about the top 1%, like Ed Milet. He actually is more viral, but positively, like design your dream life. Are you happy with your life right now? Unlock your mind. So it's just which emotions do you want your brand to represent the most? But tapping into emotion and sparking emotion will absolutely help you go viral and get more views. So this was a video I did. Shout out to NVIDIA AI, who's one of the sponsors here, but we actually collabed with them, did a video. This AI tool creates videos in seconds, no editing, which it does. It's an amazing tool. And its video's doing incredibly well. If you look at the blue line, that just means this video keeps getting views. And I want to say it's been 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, all organic, right? 4 months, 5 months, just keeps going. That's the dream of YouTube as well. It's the most highly leveraged platform. You make content right, that content works for you when you're not working. And so this video though, it taps into curiosity. What is the tool? A couple different ways to title your videos. A review of a tool or like this tool. So notice some of those tactics. There's mystery there. There's surprise, there's interest, there's anticipation. And then there's also tapping into awe. Because imagine being able to create a whole video in seconds and not have to edit it. That would be amazing. And so thinking about even, this is software. Our channel is like cameras and lighting and, you could, in a way, not exciting stuff. No, you can make whatever your business or your brand is exciting by stirring emotion and tapping into emotion. Number 5, ride trends with culture surfing. Number 5, ride trends with culture surfing. So that video interview I did with Patrick Bet-David, changes are coming for content creators, how to prepare for 2024. One of the ways that we are tapping into culture surfing, what is culture? Culture is going to be music, media, logos, brands. It's all those touch points that make up the culture that we live in. And so in a place for content creators, you'll notice the thumbnail. What do you see? You see the social media platform logos in a creative way. Known platforms, that's culture surfing. Oh, I recognize Instagram, I recognize Facebook, now mind you, my podcast would be a really good podcast to subscribe for if you want to grow on YouTube. So it's a niche podcast. We touch on some of the other platforms, but that's my value proposition is YouTube. But if I want the mass appeal method, what do we do in the thumbnail? Broader appeal. Still narrow because content creators would definitely be my demo, but broader appeal. So you have the known platforms, and he certainly spoke at that context. Ethical clickbait, it's not like, you don't ever use one of these tactics if it's not true. Like you want the video to deliver on that promise, but also known people for the people that recognize them, known brands, the logos, known events, could be the time of 2024, right at the beginning of the year. So this is culture surfing, all packed into one video. This is Dan Martell. So Dan Martell is the founder and CEO of SaaS Academy. And so he's built a lot of software as a service businesses, investor, doing some different things, crossed 100,000 subscribers recently. And here's one of his non-viral videos. The 5 C's of SaaS metrics. Now again, please have a mix of content, but we're talking about the secrets of the top 1%. So this video got 20,000 views, it's 7 years old, thumbnail's not that great. Of course, it's a little bit older, he's been improving. So what would it look like for Dan to tap into a more viral strategy? Well, here's one of the videos he did. The only 4 skills you need to build a $1 billion company. 205,000 views. So you might not know Dan, but you might recognize Elon Musk or maybe Steve Jobs. Culture surfing. There's 2 niche things under culture surfing. It's influence surfing and trend surfing. Culture is just broad. It could be logos, brands. Trends would be like times of year. Influence would be people. Now here's the thing, back to like fair use in other people's content. If he's breaking down case studies, you have all of that happening in this thumbnail. You've got the Facebook logo, the Microsoft logo, the Tesla logo. You've got their pictures. You've got his picture. You've got the $1 billion companies. And then you've got the only 4 skills. There's some curiosity. He's stacking all of this stuff up. And another powerful thing he's doing is what's called borrowed authority. Again, some of you probably don't know Dan, but again, you recognize some of these other people. As I step into this video, he's going to elevate his own authority, provided he actually delivers value and the video is good and all of that, which is our responsibility to do following. Here's another culture surfing, and specifically influence surfing. I tried Andrew Huberman's morning routine, 30 days plus blood tests. So you might not know Goal Guys or this other character in the thumbnail. I don't, but I recognize Andrew Huberman and his viral podcast, and his morning routine is ridiculous. And remember our bonus strategy, challenge? So what could you challenge yourself to do? Tap into culture surfing. And then notice this video has 3.5 million views. So about now, if you're like, Sean, this actually sounds like it's gonna take work. Well, yeah, this is actually, that's what we all have to do. We have to get up every day and like go to work. But it's worth the work, because imagine what 1 million views or 3.5 million views could do for your leads, sales, your awareness, your brand. A little bit of extra thought, a little bit of extra strategy, a little bit of extra packaging and positioning on your content can lead to next levels as you are publishing. One of the videos I did was the Joe Rogan formula, and it was the Joe Rogan podcast formula, how to start a video podcast the smart way. I took one of my talks that I did for my friend Neil Patel and Eric Sue, and I packaged it in such a way as the video podcast formula has been pioneered by Joe Rogan, which it means like turn the camera on, because it's not just audio, it's 2024. I recommend having a video podcast so you can leverage YouTube. YouTube is the #1 podcasting platform. YouTube is absorbing Google Music, Google Podcasts into YouTube Music. They want to take out Apple, they want to take out Spotify. They have RSS feeds now coming out of YouTube. I'd be betting on YouTube for your podcast and turning your podcast into a video podcast. But saying that, you don't know Sean, but you might recognize Joe. What are we doing? Culture surfing. Using Valuetainment, Patrick Bet-David is an example. They were business, they've leaned into more politics, and it's working great, and it's blowing up for them. They have a gift and a grace to do that. But saying that, their model is trending. It's the trending topic reaction strategy. Write that down. So what video could you make this week based off of headlines in the news or in the media related to your niche? Go to Google News, look at blogs, look at articles, and you react to it. Now, this is different than what Roger did when he reacted to a video. What Roger did, what they do is they just read the article. There's actually really no visuals to it. They just have articles printed out, and then they discuss them on a podcast with 4 people. Here's the bottom line, friends. They're getting 45 million views a month on Valuetainment. You cross-channel, cross-platforms, it's like hundreds of millions of views. And so these strategies work as you kind of master them, learn to implement them with your own unique style. I'm not saying you have to get political or you have to do anything, but you can implement every single one of these in your context. Number 6, as we land the plane, craft punchy titles. Less is more. This is a great book. It's called Smart Brevity. Here's some of the takeaways. Attention is scarce. Less is more. Opt for shorter, simpler words with stronger impact, and then tailor your words to your audience. Going fast as I land the plane here. I researched some of Think Media's oldest videos or most viewed videos over the years. And I found this trend. Some of the most viewed videos had titles that were 7 words or less. Check these out. How to get free stuff on Amazon, which was connected to the fact that I teach people to make money with affiliate marketing. So like if you got free stuff and made a video about it and then did affiliate marketing, that would be cool. But you notice this doesn't say that. This is the mass appeal method. Who doesn't want free stuff on Amazon? And this is 7 years ago. Like I've learned a lot since then. I just look back and I realized I was doing these strategies without knowing it. Mass appeal method, short punchy title, 7 words or less, 3 million views. Best cheap smartphone accessories for video, 6 words, 1.5 million views. Best DSLR settings for video, 5-word title. If this video would have been for a specific camera, it would have been 5% of the views. But I taught it in such a way that's like whatever camera you have, let's set your ISO, your aperture, let's set those different details. 5 words. 5-word title, camera lenses explained for beginners, 5 words. A trending creator right now, much more entertainment, is Ryan Trahan, crushing right now. 118 million views per month, top 1%. Look at this title. I tested 1-star camping. Pretty cool. I got it compelling. Now, he's probably not your cup of tea. You might not watch Ryan, but one of the things you'll see on his channel, simple, easy to understand ideas, very interesting. Genius YouTube advice for 15 minutes straight. This would be culture surfing, influence surfing, short punchy title, creates an open loop of curiosity, simple promise, 7 words. This is on our channel. Number 7, use odd and specific numbers in your titles. So one of the videos we did from 0 to 1,000 subscribers in just 9 days. Seems like clickbait. It's a true story. Nolan did this and then taught on it. It's almost got 1 million views. 0 to 1,000 subscribers, but not 10 days, 9 days, a weird number, but it's an honest number. So you have an emotional appeal, punchy title, audience desire, and a specific number. 9 is a weird number. How I get 100 subscribers every single day. And this particular video for me on our podcast channel did incredibly well with this. Instead of, I'll skip to it for this. You could take whatever result and chop it different ways to make the number interesting. So what if this many email subscribers, this much on Facebook ads, this much whatever. And maybe per week is not as interesting as per minute or per day or per week or per year or per month or whatever. So for example, when I was like, okay, how to get 100 subscribers every day was a result that I got, and then I taught on how I was doing that. And so specificity in titles, like specific earnings and outcomes, can increase interest and perceived authenticity. And I just want to correct, again, you're not trying to fake authenticity. It's just people are like, oh yeah, it's probably not going to be a round number. All the way back to Noah Kagan, how I turned 20,000 into 4.5 million or 5.1 billion. Those again are the honest numbers, but it's just a little bit more, it's an odd number, it's specific. And Ali Abdaal, one of the great creators right now, top 1%, his most viewed video is 9 passive income ideas and how I make 27K per week with it. And then even his typing video is how I type 156 words per minute. So I just want to encourage you, it's also great for email subject lines and other social media, use specific numbers. And as I land the plane, number 8, form a YouTube Jedi Council. Highly recommended. In fact, in this room might be a few people you should add to your YouTube Jedi Council. Here's the point. Create or join a peer network of like-minded YouTube and marketing enthusiasts. This is actually a secret of the top 1%. So Mr. Beast goes on Joe Rogan's podcast. He says a lot of its growth came after high school. And what happened was he found 4 other, the way he said it, YouTube lunatics. He said, I just found 4 other YouTube lunatics, small YouTubers. Check this out. We talked every day for 1,000 days in a row. He called them daily masterminds on Skype. And we did nothing but hyper study what makes a good thumbnail, good video, good pacing, how to go viral. And we had like 10 to 20,000 subs at the time, and we grew to over 1 million in a short time. 1,000 days. And he says, the reason this is powerful is if you learn from your own mistakes over a couple years, it'll take this long. But if you learn from 5 other people's mistakes at the same time, you could go 5 times faster. Man, you got to link arms with people here at Social Media Marketing World, make some connections, and keep talking, maybe every day for 1,000 days straight. Maybe take weekends off. Come on, work-life balance. We got families, we got kids. And so this could be incredibly powerful. This is just kind of a screenshot of what happens now. I understand we're a scaling team, but how Takashi will give us different thumbnails and we debate about them. Different thumbnail and title positioning. We do what's called title crew. I don't even expect you to read it, but you just see, we'll write 10 titles, 5 titles, we'll chop it up, we'll go, and we'll debate it, and iron sharpens iron. But you might say, what if I am just starting and I don't have a peer network yet? By myself, I will never write just one title. So here's a tip as we end. Brainstorm 5 titles and then choose the strongest one. So I just wrote this by myself. Okay, 4 ways to improve in public speaking. And I was part 1 and part 2 for a podcast. At least challenge yourself, use AI, some different tools, and get 5, 6, 7, 8 titles, different things, and then pick the best one. Mastermind with yourself. Like, debate with yourself. You already talk to yourself and you got voices in your head, so you might as well, just like leverage that, right? So, and then you can also ask your community to vote. Come up with 5 titles, throw it on your community tab, throw it on Facebook, throw it somewhere. And I not only crushed it with this video, the most highest voted on title was the one that did well. So here's a screenshot recapping the 8 ways that top 1% content creators go viral. 3, 2, 1. If you actually want the slides though, you can screenshot this. Happy to send you the slides, happy to send you my deck, slides@thinkmedia.com. If you have any questions, if you want to follow up, hit me with an email there. And then also, one of the most important things we didn't get to talk about is actually then what do you do in the video that follows up the title and the packaging. If you want my perfect video recipe PDF download for free, you can hit the QR code or just go to perfectvideorecipe.com. I really go through the 4 ingredients and the 10 spices that make a great video. And so you can grab that for free on the QR code. My name is Sean Cannell, your guide to building a profitable YouTube channel. Thank you so much.